I'm Joe Giglio for NJ Sports Now on this Wednesday, August the 12th. Yesterday, in Florida Park, one of the most Jets moments you could imagine. Geno Smith getting his jaw broken, out 6 to 10 weeks by a linebacker on the team, now off the team. A player that probably wasn't even part of the Jets for a long time, but now will go down in Jets lore. And this story for the Jets and this story for Geno Smith just underlies a current that has gone on for years and years and years. And it's that bad things always seem to happen to the Jets, and the most ridiculous things always seem to happen to the Jets. And if we remove ourselves just from this situation for a second and look forward to what it means for the Jets, their season, and their future, you come back to one truth that has always been there and probably been there since Joe Namath was around. The Jets still don't have a franchise quarterback. And you could say coming into this camp, you knew that already. But this was likely Geno Smith's last chance to prove that maybe, just maybe, the way he played down the stretch of last season, a perfect quarterback rating in that last game of the year in Week 17 against Miami, maybe, just maybe, Geno was going to turn a corner here. He was having a pretty good camp. Cut down his interceptions last year, a ton of weapons to work with this year, more so than in each of his first two seasons. In comes Brandon Marshall. In comes the draft pick, Devin Smith, the deep threat. Obviously, you have Eric Decker. You bring back Jeremy Curley. The Jets had some more weapons here for Geno to work with, a new offensive coordinator. This camp was imperative to his future, and this camp was imperative to the Jets finally finding out and knowing whether or not they can move forward here, year 3 of Geno Smith. And if you think Geno Smith's going to come back after missing all of camp and after missing all the preseason games, after missing the beginning of the season, and number one, reclaim his job off the bat, and number two, hop right in with a whole slew of players that he doesn't have much experience with, including Marshall and Devin Smith, and just start throwing bullets and start throwing touchdowns around the field, you're mistaken. That's not going to be Geno Smith. This injury likely derails his season and likely makes it so that no matter how well he does, he doesn't do well enough to show the Jets, to show Jets fans, and to show the NFL that he is a franchise quarterback through 3 years. And whether or not it's injury, whether it's not a lack of performance, whether it's not just a player, finding his way out the door with the Jets, you can count all the Jets quarterbacks on about, I was going to say a hand, but more than that, over the years, and all of them had some sort of issue that prevented them from becoming the long-term starter the Jets hoped for when they landed that guy. Brett Favre was too old, Pennington's arm wasn't strong enough, Mark Sanchez wasn't good enough, and was held up by a team that was very, very good around him. So many different reasons, so many different variables over the years, but it all comes back to one thing. No matter who the Jets put back there at quarterback, they don't have a franchise guy, and they haven't had one since Joe Namath won Super Bowl III over the Colts. So we can look at the ridiculousness of this story, we can look at the layers of the story and why Geno Smith is partially at fault and why, of course, he's also a victim here. But the bottom line stays the same with the Jets. No matter who the name is, no matter what the scenario is, no matter what the reason is, you go into every season and you have a feeling this probably isn't the franchise quarterback. The season arrives, you go through it, and you know at the end, this isn't the franchise quarterback. So when this whole thing plays out, Geno eventually comes back. Eventually, the Jets will be doing what they always do, looking for their next hope at the quarterback position. I'm Joe Giglio for NJ Sports Now.